Yo, YouTube, part 3. Welcome back. Excuse me. Welcome back. Let's get it. We saved one of our 7 members, 8 members? I can't remember. Do I count as a member? I think I do. There's nothing. Maybe, let me move something on over here, actually. This is going to turn off the audio because I need to do this. And then let's find the audios. God damn you. No, I just want this one. Right there. And right there. Okay. Anyways, let's continue. It's time for a new trial. Next morning, Wolfred calls everyone together before the black wagon. This old wagon is more than it appears. With Gertrude's aid, it escorted you across the sea to me. Now it shall escort us anywhere the stars require. Come and see. Wolfred begs you to join him in the wagon. Something has changed about the wagon's interior. What looked before to be old cracks and signs of age now expose various intricate components once hidden from view. You are the Nightwings. You should travel in their customary way. He turns to you, indicating levers and devices marked with symbols from the book. Now, reader, whenever you're ready, you may take us up. I'll show you how. And everyone else, hang on to something. Take off? Oh my god. After having soared into the sky, the black wagon remains aloft somehow. Hey, now we're talking. Izo is excited to be flying again. You get the impression this may not be the first time for him. Impossible. The Nightwings sail the skies again, wheresoever the stars may call for them. There is one catch. The downside provides few locales suitable for landing. Though, we should be able to find at least a couple landing places near to where we're going that will then make way by land or sea toward our destination. Now, without further ado, let us proceed. Black Wagon can fly. Seek landing near the spring of Yomir. Oh my god, this is so fucking cool! This is fucking awesome! Yo! That is cool as... Oh. How dare you, Nightwing scum! You blasted fools, you cannot intimidate accusers. We shall face you soon enough in forthcoming right, but first, live another pack of fools whom we must vanquish shortly. Until then, stay out of our way. This is cool as fuck, dude. This is fucking awesome. Bro. Are these landing points? As you soar above the waters of Worm Gulf, you notice Sir Gilman sidle up to you very slowly. We are very high above the waters, but this night is not mistaken. This night's brethren lurk beneath the surface there in numbers untold. Fortunately, if we were to come crashing to the surface now, this night he would receive a watery burial in the custom of his kind. Wait, are those... Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute. Are there more spots like that with little pieces of dialogue? Did I miss stuff? Hold on, let me get the dialogue first. I know where I have to go. Hold on. If it's giving me freedom to explore, something about the strange island you see below draws your attention. Best to avert your gaze from the Isle of Aylmer. Even the scribes themselves sought to avoid the place. Let us fly on. Forbidden Island in the distance. Did I miss? I thought I saw other circles like that. Hold on. Did I not? Maybe I did. Excuse me. Huh. I know where it wants me to go, but there's like... I just want to explore for a little bit. Now that I can actually explore the map freely, why would I not? Alright, there's nothing else. Okay, let's go. The boost isn't that significant. It's pretty good, but it's not the best. It's okay. Are these other people waiting to do trials? I think they are. Like other NPC groups, I'm assuming. Yeah, there's like a bunch of them. It's awesome. Being able to see where all the other like teams are hanging out is kind of fun. Below, amid the desolation of flagging hands, you see big birch-roots from which you first embarked by sea. You wonder how its venerable proprietor is faring. I'm certain that big birch-root must have a strong impression on you all. She's not easy to forget. I've known her since before my exile, or hers. She's been here a long time. I've sent my agents to repay her for assisting you, to send her our regards. The old wagon must have been in need of some repairs. This is fucking awesome, dude. I see where it wants me to land, but I want to first go over here to this thing. The spring of Ymir has always flown forth from the crushed carapace of Bialantius. The hive titan vanquished will describe Ymir many from which remains flows a rejuvenating spring which gladdens up the desolation. 1 second. One second. Sorry about the YouTube, it broke. Also, we didn't run into these people last time, so we're gonna start from here. The game crashed, so we're back. Sisters, we're under attack. Hold? No. We're merely being mocked by none other than the Nightwings. Mock us all you wish, then. Wastrels of the Commonwealth, the sight of you. That utterly outlandish wagon. Your mere existence is the front of the act of flight. Would that my sisters and I could soar tirelessly and free as once we did, but nay, we must resort to such ignoble means of travel such as you. Now stay away from us, lest our vengeance should extend beyond your commonwealth and become much more personal in nature. I didn't run into them last time. Is it randomly generated? Who I run into? Oh, these guys are different. Ah, pleasure to encounter you with these guys themselves. They deliberately crashed into us, Father. You still address in such a cordial manner? Now, Almer, I'm certain that this was an honest accident, and it appears no lasting damage has been done. Please take the helm, as I shall go and pick up all the fallen artifacts, which shook free from the walls to the impact. Perhaps some of these old heirlooms may yet be repaired with pieces drawn from certain flora we may find along our long quest. Damn you, Nightwings. You stay away from us. And we've already read about this. That's not new. Everyone can fly? That's crazy. And then there's other groups that already landed at the right spots. That's funny. Well, we've already read this dialogue, but I want to get it anyways for the lore. Yeah. Brig Gertrude, I've seen that one. I don't remember the different symbols each one had. And I've read this. For common beast, perhaps the stars shine down upon out of the way locales such as this one, which they shall alone witness the proceedings. Alright, do I want to go to Glue Hive or Fall Flat? Faye expressed an interest in exploring the pools along this route. You sense the presence of your adversary Ulmir here, and may learn of her recent activity. Do I want to run into her right now? Probably not. Let's go see what Faye has to say. Faye say, you touched down in the heart of Ymir Valley, where first you faced the fate and the dissidents. You briefly wonder where they might be now and how they fare. You join your companions for a routine inspection of the wagon following its flight. Faye confirms the wagon's wheels withstood the shifting temperature and still appear to be in reasonable shape. Ruki managed to calm some of the drive-ins prone to dizziness or frenzy at high altitudes. Other than that, everything checks out, and the rest of the crew got through the flight without complaint. You now have a little time before having to set forth by land. Beyond her crystal seeks Faye. Waking wood wisps. The wisps inside provide a scarce bit of light when it is needed, all for a low monthly fee. Gilman wants to talk. Freestone exhibits a flagrant disregard for natural law, thus providing light entertainment. It's gone. I can't click it anymore. It's off screen. That's not fair. Do I have 1 page or 2 pages? Oh my god. 5, 7. The Empire's collapse. Down the river. The hunt for Myrrh. The demon. The mercy shown. Alright. Chapter 2. This is new. Alright. Downside travels. In the words of Ymir Manymane, the Alpha Chief. You cannot survive the downside if you cannot get around. Howlers shall descend on you, or tempest shall shear you to pieces. That is just the way of it. Traveling through the environs is no simple feat. Consider yourself blessed if you were born a cur. If not, however, you shall have to find a means to cross these lands without the benefit of 4 strong paws. Luz Glorian believes that this untamed land can be traversed means unnatural. I thought at first that he meant sorcery, but he suggests invention. He speculates that carriages could cross this land by harnessing its fury. A wild thought. In my case, my paws shall suffice. There's a lot to read now. Oh my god, all the lore's available. Downside climate. I know of no polite way to describe the climate here. It oppresses every living thing, except perhaps the native flora in a few specific areas. Once more, the recommended course is to keep moving. Moving keeps you warm when it is cold, or when it is very hot, you use what strength you can to move to somewhere you can think and breathe. The weather in the downside seems intrinsic to the different regions, which my good friend Molten Millith shall describe. Shelter can be difficult to find, and you cannot stay in it for very long. Perhaps, however, shelter can accompany you, rather than constrain you. Okay? Downside dining. How to sustain oneself with food and drink in such a place as this. The less said of it, the better. Do not complain, observe, and, above all, keep moving. Sources of sustenance avail themselves to those with keener sense. In warmer climates, search the ground at break of day for subterraneans. In colder places, dig for them. Give them purpose. Drinking pools are rare, but moisture in abundance outside of the sandfalls. Some is poisonous. Take only what you need. The downside limits any opportunity for excess, but it provides enough amenities to meet the needs of life. One who withstands it cannot help but feel a sense of gratitude. Okay. That's done. It looks like. Alright, chapter 3. Forsaken lands, in the words of Molten Millith, the Wild Witch. Years upon long years did we spend distilling life essence from many things, which all once writhed under the auspicious aus auspicious of their mortality, which we ourselves cut short. In this we have no regrets, for we learned much, and so we think did they. We earned the title Witch, and were forced to flee into the downside. Here we encountered Soli and Myrrh, and soon we gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands and catalog our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. He wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake. Indulge us both, then. Yomer Valley. The downside prairie first appears serene. It is not. The soil there accommodates only the region's brutish, native vines and overbrush. The most likely food sources prove poisonous. Thus, we journeyed further north. The climate there grew fouler to my senses, though the Cur Yomer found it amenable. This sprawling valley, pocketed with long evaporated lakes, gives evidence to the monstrosities which roamed this land. We found the region's western edge to be more pleasant, on the whole. Therein we found sources of fresh water, whereas over to the east we found the edge of the land's most hideous decay. Mount Elodial. Gaining the summit of the sacred Mount Elodial involved no small amount of sacrifice and sorcery in varying proportions. The mountain's energies were palpable, the sensation that we felt indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than to the world we knew. It was upon this highest point in all the downside that we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with a vision of the cycle of the rites, and felt, together, for the first, a sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. But that is a subject which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. There's a lot of information here. Celestial landmarks, in the words of Luce Glorian, 100 Minds, the scholar. Do you feel a kinship with the stars? You owe your everything to them. Perhaps, one day, even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river of my genealogy until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge, for how is it that something can be shared, but still contained within ourselves in its entirety? The stars did not respond, but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks, which they revealed to me, so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land and see ourselves in a new light. The Book of Rites. Much can be said about the Sisters of the Arch, whom we banished to the great beyond for deeds irredeemable. Suffice it that the details of their banishment are written in this book. The sisters and the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars, their light, and the infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us, and you, in turn. The words within this book are but an edifice, a simple surface. Look past the text, to the hidden meaning, to the hidden power. The stars above, as they are not mere lights, these are not mere words. If you chance upon the Sisters of the Ark within their prison here, give them our thanks. Nine triumvirates, in the words of Haub the Swallow, the accursed. At first I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill. But the horned one, Myrrh, implored me. He said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return. Excuse me. In return for what? I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did, he said. We fight about this still. Myrrh is stubborn, more than I. Now, herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the 9 triumvirates, for I am of this land, unlike the rest, who wish to leave. We knew not everyone who could leave who wanted. Seldom would the opportunity arise. Thus did we organize those striving for the chance into 9 sets of 3. The Beyonders. To call the Beyonders a triumvirate is to stain the others' efforts, yet I am beholden to describe them here. A pack of bandits loosely organized under the Sisters of the Arch. They traveled all this way into my land to take the Horned One's life, to kill my friend Myr. We thwarted them. We had them at our mercy. Mercy had become imperative to Myr. We spared their lives but banished them to darkness, far beyond these lands. Now and forever, the Beyonders cling to a beholden duty to confront the true Triumvirates whenever they so choose, so that whenever the true Triumvirates clash, it shall be to their fullest extent. Interesting. Those are the people inside the little orb thing. On Commonwealth, in the words of Trishta Tithys, the Blessed Born, we, the Eight, assembled here together in the downside, and we gave our freedom so that you may yet have yours. It is an exchange we have not made lightly. It is my charge to ensure that you, should you regain your freedom, first off recognize its qualities, and also use it wisely. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. My own wings, I once thought that they could take me anywhere, and then they took me here, where I am bound. It is your charge to be free, and not to make the same mistakes. Spring from here, and learn from what we did, and build a new and great society, a free society, with wings spread wide for everyone. Principles of a truly free society formed on the basis of this book, about the founding principles of the exile creature shall forever conduct the rites, pertaining to locales discovered to have cosmic significance, concerning the races and ethnic groups displaced to and indigenous to the downside, observations and ruminations on surviving the downside, a history of Solium Myr, the first exile, and the foremost of the 8 scribes. Brief instructions on when, where, and how to commence the rites. Alright, let's talk to Gilman, and then we'll go to the orb to see what Faye has to do. Sir Gilman is shivering there after the Black Wagon's maiden voyage to the skies. Master Reader, this knight is very, very slightly out of sorts is all. He merely appears terrified, but he assures you that his seeming cowardice is but an optical illusion in this case. Hemetha overhears and joins you. Flying's not for everyone, Sir Knight. This knight heartily concurs, though how anyone at all could stand it he has yet to understand. Well, let's see. What's it like to swim the waters of the Sea Dominion? Ah, those glorious, murky waters, engulfed in hideous warfare, to be sure. Otherwise a joy to cut across, to feel the coolness of the waves beneath one's gill slits and the like. Though this knight is not accustomed to his life above the surface. Flying's just the same, Sir Knight. It resists those of us not born into it. I, in turn, have wondered what your seas are like, but the thought of swimming fills me with disgust. Though I haven't had to swim, and you now have to fly, that's very brave of you, and you handled it better than some heart-flenching as I've been in my day. You'll get used to it. She departs, but you sense Sir Gilman is feeling better after the exchange. Hell yeah! Alright. There for them. Nice. You have returned. How can I help you, if at all? Scribe challenge. You need but choose among those unenlightened fools with whom you travel. Approved, ineligible, ineligible, approved, approved. I guess for summoning Faye, you ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Faye. I must admit, I do sense something from that one. I once had a wild heart myself, quite like her own. We shall see if there is more to her than that. Let us bring her forth. Soon, Faye arrives in heed of the summons. The scribes! I think that if I listen carefully, that I can hear them calling out to me. God, my nose is all stuffed up for some reason. Must have been the sneeze earlier. Who's going to be her opponent to face that's going to counter her movements? Let's find out. 160. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, girl. The place where you reside at present has but a single rule, which is you answer to me. Wow, okay, I will. Such naive enthusiasm. Now be silent. It is plain to me that you have much to learn as yet about the rites, but you have learned something and I would see you prove it without the benefit of anyone save for your reader. Okay, are you out there to help me with this, reader? Ooh, the explosive voice. Oh my gosh, he's quick. He's quick with it. Ooh. The faithful drifter. Oh my god, she's stuck. 3, 2, 1. Nah, bitch. Ooh. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh, wow. That thing has a lot of jump. Oh my god, the explosion. Ooh. The explosion. I didn't jump out of the way fast enough. Damn you. What? Oh my god, how did he grab it and I didn't? I jumped for it. Oh god. Oh. I'm getting wrecked in these cryos. No! Oh my god, bro. Damn you! 1. Alright, well I'm gonna lose in 2 seconds because I'm not gonna be able to fight them off. No! Damn it, the jump took me so far past them! Oh my god, the leap was a million miles away from him! Sorry, I just thought I could do better. As expected, the Moon Touch girl is not fully competent. I would tell you not to waste my time, girl, but the truth is that my time is there for you to waste. Moving in reality catches up to your expectations. We can win that! That's just annoying. Once more the savage, then. Is it? Fine, let us go. God damn it. I jumped right by him, even though I was aiming to jump into him to knock him out of the air. Fuck. That leap is crazy, though. Alright. It's not a hard match. I just gotta be smarter. I gotta be smarter. I gotta be smarter. No! You are so much faster than me! Are you shitting me? No! You jumped! I jumped for you! We killed each other! No! You respawn fast enough to kill me? They're strategizing. No, 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 come on, man! I jumped away from you. You fucking suck. Fuck you. Killed you, bitch. Ooh. All right. Okay. Fuck, I didn't mean to run into you like that. That was a... Go for it. What are you waiting for? Why are you... That was weak. That was weak. Oh, you fuck! You bitch! You slut! You whore! No! Oh my god! You are absolutely a menace! No! I'm dead. Goodbye. Cool. Fuck you. Fuck you. You killed us both. I dropped it. That's fine. I'm not dead yet, though. Fuck. No, 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 no. It waited? Oh my god, it fucked up. It fucked up. What? How did you not get killed? Why did I die in that one? From that. What the fuck? How did I die in that exchange? You had the ball! Oh my god. That thing passes like a fucking NBA player. It got rid of the ball so fast it respawned instantly, its aura. Are you kidding me? I attacked it when it had the ball and it instantly brought... That thing passed so fast. Are you shitting me? How did it pass the ball so quick? My god. Fuck you. No! Dude, no, respawn! No! It's wasting time! Oh my god, it passed. It was wasting time dribbling for no reason. Die. Fuck. Killed each other, that's fine. Ooh. Bitch. No! I jumped! Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it! Oh! Damn it, I had no stamina to jump. I was trying to jump away. Ooh. Close. No! Oh my god, it flew over me. God damn. Two, one. No, you bitch whore! Why are you throwing it? You're wasting time. We killed each other, that's fine. I'll take the double kill. No! Oh my god, the explosion! Down there! Oh, fuck you. Way to go, Faye. We did it. Okay, how did I do? How did I do? I must admit you did better than I had expected, girl. You have passed this trial of yours. Some congratulations are in order. To you and also to your lovely reader. Now farewell. That wasn't as hard as the other one. Tizo's challenge was way harder. So I'm kind of okay with that. Tizo's challenge was almost impossible. I redid that one like 8 times. Poor little Tizo. I should have set him free. That's fine. Did I imagine all of that, reader? Because I hope I did. Wow, what is that you have there? After Faye casts her aura, it can bounce off objects and solid surfaces. That's kind of cool. Level 20? Oh my god. No, I didn't want you to go down. Okay. Do I want to give her a special item, though? After Faye casts her aura, it can bounce up objects and solid objects. It's a level 20 legendary talisman. But I don't cast her aura that often. 2250, 1150, 150, 1000. I guess that's it. You end up spending part of the day with Faye exploring the area surrounding your wagon. You learn this area used to be a swimming hole many years ago. The water here is sick and crying out. I told it we were very sorry. Your lasting memory of the place is standing by the shore, imagining the feel of the water. As you head back in silence, you consider which of your vocations to pursue. Ooh, do I want to mentor someone or do I want to read the book? I'm going to read the book. You find a relatively quiet clearing to study the Book of Rites with undivided attention. Through greater understanding comes the reader's influence. Attribute bonuses you bestow on all your fellow exiles who participate in the rites. Ooh. Focus on which aspect of the Book of Rites? Hope, quickness, or presence? Righteousness. Currently rank 0 of 2. Tenacity. Celebrity spirit. Master the other aspects of the book to unlock this. Oh. Do I want hope? Banishment duration. Move slightly faster during the rites. Aura. I'm gonna go presence. You attune yourself to the strange and mystical properties of the Book of Rites, embracing such as possible that which cannot be explained or truly known. Inspiration comes to you in a flash, whether from the book or from within, you cannot tell. You gain the reader's influence, tenacity. All Nightwings gain +1 presence. Permanent buffs? Augers? Dude, permanent buff? That's awesome. I love permabuffs. Alright, Barker. Page revealed, page revealed. Hey, guys, come on in. Say now, whatever happened to that smiley headwind guy? Did you really get out of here like I've been hearing or what? Twilight Shard. When flinging the orb into the Emperor's Pyre, the bearer deals bonus damage. Banished by the bearer takes longer to recover. I'm gonna sell you. I don't really use aura casting on her. You can have this, to be honest. What's up, Lex? What's good, girl? $36, 4 quickness, 4 presence, 12%. Sure, we'll make you move faster. Why not? Guys, have a good day out there. Sure, bud. Thanks.
Huh?
Huh? I'm gonna read the book real quick. Where did I get information from? In chapter 1. First exile, last empire, the rope collar, the empire's collapsed, down the river, Dr. Myrrh, the demon, the mercy shown, the 8 scribes. Is this a new page? I guess it is. The 8 scribes. We found each of the others in due time by fate, not by coincidence. The wise Luciflorian stood among the trees, gazing at the stars, expecting us. The wild witch, Milith, was so enthralled by my liege's utter transformation, she stayed her sorceries. Blessed-born Trista swooped down upon us, but to warn of imminent attack. The many-maned Yomer thus intervened and shared with us his humor and his hunt. Even the Under-King Ors himself sought out an audience with us. Thus, we became the 8 and journeyed on together. Something new here. Oh. The Spring of Yomer. I oftentimes think the carapace of the Hive Titan Violanthius shall be an everlasting blemish on an almost splendid bit of land. But Yomer, in his brashness, felled the monster with a certain flare. Thus, the moon shone through the ridges of the massive carapace and shined upon the pooling ichor, turning it into the freshest nectar ever to be tasted. The spring shall flow eternally, and those who walk within it shall experience the resplendent glory of the land. The stars began to fall there in the spring with regularity, and we now know how soon again they shall do so, and we wish for you to see it for yourself. Okay, Faye wants to talk. Faye seems to be talking to the Black Wagon's walls again, though this time something seems to have come over her. Little brother, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? You are unsure whether to check in with her or leave her be. I'm gonna wait and listen. You sense now is not the time to interrupt, and that Faye is on the verge of confronting some long dormant emotions, which she ought to face. They always said that there was something wrong with me, but they wouldn't really tell me what. They wouldn't say. They said that I was moon-touched. Those deemed impaired by Commonwealth standards, very different in a negative sense. But, so what? So then, the scribes, they called me here. They are the ones who brought me here, not those people. They were so cruel. They always were so cruel. I didn't have a little brother at the time. No one that I recall, really. Although, so much of it back then, I can't tell how much of it I dreamt. Most of it, I didn't want it to be true. But I remember that they threw me out. They decided they would throw me out, and that the scribes take care of me, they said. The scribes, they would take care of me. It was so very quiet here, and I was all alone, again. Although, I think I liked it more. Being alone, down here, and being alone back there. Everybody's alone down here. So, it makes me feel less alone, somehow? Back there, why, I would sometimes feel families, or see families, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. But here, there was hardly anyone at all. But I knew that I was closer to the scribes. I knew that they were in the sky above, and I did search for them up there, you know? And then, one night, I found them. I saw the stars, and they were falling to the ground, and I thought, why is it the scribes themselves are crying? Are they sad? And maybe, are they sad for me? Well, that was when I first saw you, little brother. With your help, I would get closer to the scribes. That way, maybe they could answer all my questions. Don't you think? But I'm so very glad I found you and the others. I'm finally not alone. I'm finally not alone, and more importantly, I think sometimes I even feel that way, that I'm not alone. Maybe as we get closer, maybe I will get to feel that way more often, being here or being anywhere with you and all my friends. She falls silent, but you were concerned for her at first. You sense that now she at peace. She wanders off, paying you no attention in the least. You sense you have a better understanding of her now. Roster bio updated. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. Hold up. Wait. Crime. Vagrancy. Motive. None. Years exile. 2. Oh? We know some info? She was a special child, left abandoned, and despite her seemingly special nature, she possessed a strange affinity for the old ways. One day, she was taken in by the authorities, and when she revealed her fixations about the scribes, she was deemed witless, and when no one claimed responsibility for her, she was cast into exile. In the downside, she has wandered aimlessly in search of more clues about the legendary heroes who so fascinate. Interesting. That's cool. Awesome. Lore! Anyways, let's beat up Barker. As the sky grows dark over the spring of Ymir, a hush falls over your companions, especially Ruth. You sense something is troubling him. Something to do with your next adversary. Oh, hey chum. Just want to let you know, I'm pumped and ready to take on the dissidents this time. Sure am, alright. That Barker, he's not so scary once you get to know him like I do, you know? So, don't you worry. Because I sure won't be going easy on him after last time. As Ruki marches off toward the clearing, you notice his grin fade away. In the distance, you hear the distance begin to hoot and howl. They have the coolest fucking theme song, I don't care what anyone says. They have the coolest fucking theme song of any of the groups, and you cannot deny, I don't care who you are. They have the best fucking theme music, the Dissidents. You hear that guitar? Fuck, dude. It's awesome.
Reader, ever persevering, aren't we?
Shut up, I want to hear the music. Go away.
Well then, rejoice.
You're ruining the music.
The cycle of the rites begins anew.
The rights.
Perhaps you'll liberate another soon enough.
Liberate another.
Your chosen adversaries here shall be
Adversaries.
the Dissidents. Reduce their flame to ash, just as you did when last you met. Now, who exactly shall oppose them?
I wish my flame was purple. Boy, mates, look at what we have here. Greentel, is that you? Yeah, Barker, it's me, alright. Well, I'll be, so tell me something, Greentel. You gonna go against me this time or keep on being a stinking coward like before, huh? What do I do? 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 Wait, what? He said he wants to fight. If you can beat him, maybe you'll leave us alone. He'll leave the Greentails alone. I can make it worth his while. Barker? What is it, mate? The race about to start. Well, I was just thinking. I know I owe you and everything, but I've got a deal for you. You like a good deal, don't you? Ah, I like a good laugh. It's more like it. But I'll buy Greentail. What's your fancy here? I was thinking, if I can beat you here, we're squared away. You let me off the hook. I see. Tell me something, right? Why is it in this sticking war when I do want to do something like that? What's in it for me when I beat you instead? Then I'll pay you double what I owe. Promise. But you have to promise too. Curse oath. Oh, really now? Double or nothing then, is it, eh? You grab a whole bargain now, mate. Alright, it's a deal. You beat me in my pack right here, right now, and you'll dip me as far as I'm concerned. Because if you don't, I'll be piecing you for all you work. You and your stupid uncles and that dear old mom of yours. See you shortly then. Rookie then turns to you. Hey, so this one means a lot to me. You understand there, chum? Let me go against and I'll make sure we show him up, okay? Alright, Rookie, you're in, buddy. Boy there, mates. My back and now we got a few tricks for that to show you real soon. He sense Barker speaks the truth. The Dissidents are more capable than before. Each time you face a triumvirate, they gain talismans and masteries. Oh god, they have powers now?
Who shall conduct the rite?
Well, my first starter is going to be... You're almost leveled up, so I'm gonna pick you.
Kanatha.
Yeah, we gotta pick him. Rookie. 1150, 100, 1,000. You know what? Why not?
Sir Gilman, the choice is cast.
Noble Rookie, know that your battle here this night is this night's battle 2 on 1. Alright, Greentail, bring it on. Or it's your dear mom who's gonna pay. Bet. Oh my gosh. No! Fuck.
The first dousing.
Ah, bitch. Get fucked. No, I got the ball.
I'll be gone.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Avenging aid. Oh, I taunted.
Foul for the Nightwings.
Damn it.
Your pyre sputters.
Fuck you. What's the matter, Greentail? You think you seem a little nervous on your paws out there? Just shut up already, Barker. Let's get on with it. What's that you say, huh? You think you're so back to me like that, Greentail? You heard me, Barker. Stay out of my damn way. Or what, mate? Or I'll sink these little nervous teeth in your neck, old chum.
That foolish Barker was a menace to the Commonwealth and is a blight upon the rights. He plunged into their fire.
I keep hitting the wrong button.
Some claimed again.
No!
Oh, you haven't.
Woo! Woo! No, I hit the button to dash!
Simply abhorrent.
Fuck! Ooh, mama!
Oh.
No!
Pathetic.
Oh my god! Get in there, buddy! Yeah. Oh no!
From burning flame to ash.
This is harder than I thought.
Yes.
Ooh!
The adversary's fire.
Ooh!
Magnificent.
Hell yeah! No! Oh my
No
god!
mercy.
Double kill! No! Huh. Oh. No!
Oh,
We double killed
dear.
each other. No! Fuck! I was too far away. Oh my god, that was the game.
Too slow there, Pyre.
Oh!
Good.
Oh! No, my dash! Ah, fuck, I dashed the wrong way.
Also is rather quick.
Fuck me.
None left unscathed.
Ooh.
Somehow did it. Once more like that, and we are finished here.
Ooh.
It is done. The nightmares prevail again.
Oh, yeah.
The scribes themselves surely have taken note.
Yeah,
The
Parker.
rite is ended.
Hell yeah. Woohoo, we did it, we got him. Green tail, you got us fair square, mate. As far as squares it still gets, right? So my family, you leave us alone? You said you leave them alone. He's off there, green tail. Deal's the deal. Now then, me and my pack better step it up. Or when we see you and your mates again, I'll be looking forward. Ricky watches him depart, then turns to you as his expression softens. Don't know what to tell you, chum, other than I really owe you one. Level up for some people.
The wisdom of the scribes.
Yeah. You know, with all this right business, there's been this one real fancy move that I've been mulling for a while, and I think I just finally got how I can pull it off. Yeah? When sprinting, it accelerates faster than usual to an even faster top speed. Okay. After he's banished by an adversary, it's 3% shift in 1 second. That's pretty cool. Casts his aura farther. Banishes by casting his aura, the blast can banish nearby adversaries. I don't really cast his aura too much, but I think I like this one the most. Yeah, I like this one the most.
Honor is elusive, O Sir Gilman.
So grateful is this knight for the glorious occasion that he's giving strong consideration to performing even now that we've been danced in the Sea Dominion. Sir Gil and Ozaz are banished. They shall instantly return. Which is great because he got this. So I'm gonna do that. That sounds amazing for the combo. Yeah, level up.
The exiled Tamitha perhaps can learn
Well,
the errors
Tamitha?
of her kind.
Soon I'll be catching up with you at this, whether you like it or not. What do you have unlocked? When flying, Panther moves faster than usual. For 5 seconds, the vanishing adversary, Panther moves faster than usual. Less stamina. Oh my god, that's amazing. You know what?
The holy power of the eldest matriarch.
I like flying faster than usual. Heck yeah, that was awesome.
Until the next rite.
True! Dude, that was cool. That was a good fight. That was a good game. It was a good game. We actually had a challenge, which is awesome. You return to the wagon after you and your fellow exiles overcame the dissidents and find Wolford waiting for you. Well done back there, my kin. You are serving your companions well. Now, then, I have something that I wish to share with you if you have a moment. We have discussed the plan of which we're all a part. I have a means of measuring our progress toward the goal of it. I'd like for you to have a look at it. First, let's determine where the rites may take us next. Look forth, I expect you shall again see several shining stars where once we saw but one. Can I pick my own route? Krista, Aureus, or Millet? Several shining stars. A trick of the eye or the will of the scribes. Who can say? I too once gained this newfound vision many years ago, following my first liberation rite, and I believe only we of the Nightwings have this gift. I realized that in choosing whom the Nightwings confront in each rite, we in turn influence which triumvirate we face when the time comes for someone to be set free. The object I invite you to use contains further detail. Wolford's planner. So it's relative stands between the 9 triumphs and the rites. Look upon it now. Okay. Holy shit. Using Wolford's planner, you may assess your progress towards your ultimate goal, as well as check the current status of your adversaries. Wolford shall keep this information up to date for the remainder of your quest. You may look over it or anytime in the Black Wagon while searching the stars. Alright, Tempers have 1-4, lost 4. Dissidents have 1-4, lost 5. Higher Hearts have 1-2, lost 5. Accusers have 1-4, lost 3. Favor of the Tempers is 1. Current standing, that's bad. Unchanged standing. Gain standing. The Chastity are 2 and 5. The Withdrawn are 4 and 4. The Fate are 3 and 5. Essence are 4 and 5. We're 9 and 0. Rights till next liberation. Unknown. Liberation rights connected 1. Additional exiles required 1. Number of additional exiles required to join the Nightwings will be a key aspect of the plan. Total rights connected 9. Exiles liberated 1. Probability is 31%. Aldium, the 6th of 9th moon, 837 AS. At long last, the plan is well underway. The cycle of the rites turns quickly for the time. We soon should have another stab upon the fall of Solium. That's his initials. A measure of a triumvirate's worth in the eyes of the 8 scribes. Triumvirate with the highest favor is poised to take on the Nightwings last liberation rite. Favors are prevailing of the rights after liberation rite and farm is 0. Wolford Sandalwood, Tamitha Thane, Dalbert Oldheart, Witch Udmild, Manly Tinderstout, Lendo the Liar, Sir Deluge, Barker Ashpaws, Ignarius. Dude, their favor is so bad because they lost to us, right? So the Essence will be fighting us in either the Essence or the Fate are fighting us in the Liberation Rite. Assuming that they continue to keep in good favor. Alright. This is helpful. So we can face the Pyre Hearts, the Accusers, or Fates. Becky against him is 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. Okay. Do I want to fight? If I fight him and put our worm friend in, he'll get... Well, let's see. The Pyre hearts are on the bottom. The accusers, and then Fate. Fate is high up there. So we should go against the accusers, I think is the plan. Yeah, I think that's the plan. I think that's a good strategy. Your next adversaries are to be the accusers, led by one called Lendel, whom I believe you first met many moons ago. His is a tale I hope shall be forgotten. He then tells you what he knows of your next adversaries. Lendel the Liar, the first adversary you confronted in the Rights, not long after you took your first steps on the path to freedom. A former constable of the Commonwealth, he gained a reputation for his strict and brutal manner. By any means, he always caught the crook. Once, he arrested a civilian who hated him, on suspicion of theft of Commonwealth artifacts that had gone missing. Lendel discovered the artifacts himself in the civilian's home. The suspect, who was exiled, still denied the charges, even as they cast him downriver. The case was investigated further, though too late, suspicions turned to Lendel. It turned out he planted the damning evidence himself, so he was exiled in turn. In the downside, he soon became acquainted with the Rights, having heard of all of this from several people in high places. He asserted himself as the de facto leader of the accusers. They bent to his aggressive nature and prevailed many times under his watch. Yet each time his chance at liberty arose, the Nightwings either defeated him or simply did not show. At any rate, Lendel shall be looking forward to our arrival, I expect. We may resume our journey come daybreak, but in the meantime, I would advise taking what rest you can. You bid the lone minstrel a good evening. At dawn, you shall take flight again. But first, page revealed. Wolford's planner. Take inventory. I can just look at it whenever I want. Where are we reading this? In the book? That makes sense. That makes sense. Oh, it's already opened up for you. Okay. The dissidents. I, myself, Haub, did form the dissidents under this simple tenet. Those who do not belong, belong. The other scribes, my S and H sounds are all muddled up. Some of them showed at first reluctance to allow an imp and one accursed to designate one of the 9 triumvirates, but Mur, the horned one, stubborn as he was, stood by my side. In time, they came to understand, for I remained, as ever, at their side, a living bit of proof to their absurdity. The dissidents are an extension of my oddity. Those who do not adhere, they are not to be discarded, underestimated, or dismissed. They are as necessary as are those against whom they rebel. Interesting. Fascinating. Hey, buddy, what's wrong? As you approach Ruki, you sense none of his usual anxious energy. I'm free. Then he rushes up to you and return to form. I mean, I know I'm not. I'm stuck down here with all the rest of you. It's like I finally got to set aside this giant bag of rocks I've been carrying around. Know what I mean? Wanted to say thanks, chum, for giving me a hand with the little situation with myself and Barker. I don't think I would have had it in me to stand up to him unless I knew you and the others had my back. Now at least old Mama Greentail won't get any trouble from him or the other side. The Greentail family, Ruki's well-to-do Kerr family, had the Commonwealth striving lookout. She's still waiting for her Ruki boy to come on home, but at least she won't be getting hassled by a bunch of nasty curs just because I struck a lousy deal. So yeah, chum, you ever need something? I owe you one. And then some. Kerr's oath. He prances out of the wagon, a newfound lightness in his step. Gained to hope permanently. Holy shit. His respawn timer is 5 seconds? Oh my god, he's OP. What was that? I just saw a thing. What was that? Hold on, wait a minute. What is this? What is that? Singing sands. The so-called singing is the sound of countless screeching wheel mites. Oh, from Yomer Valley. Oh, interesting. Fascinating. This game is awesome. I love this game. Take off. And now we fly. Ow, my knuckle. We can run into people again? Yep. You can hear the angry hissing coming from Udwheel all the way from your position. You think perhaps the skies belong to you. Foolish. The skies and everything above them and below belong to the Astral-born. He shall be smitten for his skies as his awakening. Now be gone! Alright, okay. Good luck in your fights. Oh, look at that. The hulk of wars. It has drifted here upon the sea for longer than one might expect. Perhaps you have already read of the doomed ship's demise in the embrace of the unfathomed plurns. Okay. Some say it was the sea itself which preserved the ship's remains. Hidden properties within the water. Sea creatures binding together ruined planks of wood. I was checking to see if I read that before, but I did read it before. Those that yourselves and the Accursers know the truth, I gather. The stars would not align over the wreckage if it did not have greater significance than first appears. May you have good fortune there during the coming rites. Thank you, thank you, thank you! Love you! Ruki knows someone who owes him a past debt. Hamitha believes this route should be a great place to pursue your vocations. Vocations or debt? I think I've helped Ruki enough. I want to do vocations. Let's go. You touch down at the Sea of Solace, where you first encountered Sir Gilman and the Pyre Hearts. You soon shall carry on by sea, but for now you have some time to spare. Survey the fathom. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Sir Gilman. Alright, first we have a book page. Gilman's gonna be hard to play with, I feel like this. Sea of Solace. Beyond a shallow, sickly gulf, our voyage grew increasingly forbidding and much harder to explain. How could a sea exist here, at the bottom of the world? We could not deduce whence sprang the carcasses of ancient sailing ships we found throughout the Sea of Solace, though the warnings that they signified were duly noted. It was here we first met Oros, called the Underking, who brazenly assaulted our small skiff when we had trespassed in his waters. But then the Underking relented, for he witnessed solely Amur in all his doom and glory. Soon he would side with us. Then, with the Underking, we sailed forth into a tempest beyond reasoning or measure. Time for a hard battle. You bring me brief reprieve from solitude, would seek you in exchange. Scrap trial. The least I can do in exchange for your company, you need but point me to the one you have in mind. Alright, Gilman, let's do it. You're gonna lose. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Sir Gilman. You think that demon of Amur has any chance? Perhaps you're correct, though I put little stock in him myself. Though, let us bring him forth. Soon Sir Gilman appears in heat of the summons. Master Reader, is this like perchance in trouble for something? No, Gilman, we're training. Are you ready for training? I'm not ready for training. We're gonna die. But we'll see what happens. We'll win. Boom! That's not bad. The apparition Sandra appears and unfastens her mask. Listen well, Worm. You answer to me here. As you will, Your Highness. Your Highness, I like the sound of that. Though flattery shall get you nowhere here. Demonstrate your competence to me, then, Worm. You shall have to do it mostly on your own, though under the guidance of your lovely reader, I trust you are prepared. Of course, Your Highness, this knight accepts this challenge. Oh my god, you are a menace. I cannot believe you've done this. That's a 30 bomb, isn't it? Yep. Yikes. I got +5 back to my health. Oh shit! I tried. 3, 2, 1, back. Damn! Got 10 back to my health. Now I'm at 90. Woo! Woo! 95. Oh, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, fuck. Shit. They're wasting time. They're wasting time. Oh, they still got it in. Oh, you do 25? That's interesting. Oh my god, you casted it so well. Defenseless. You should have guarded your post. You weren't playing defense. Way to go, Sir Gilman. Huzzah, this knight prevails. I have no choice but to concur with that assessment, Worm. Your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Thus, congratulations are in order to you and to your lovely reader. Now, farewell. Nice. Sandra's favorite? Oh, because he called her Highness. Ah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That checks out. That checks out. Of course she would. The Tempers. Who are the Tempers? Oh, they're the ones that I'm fighting in the orb? Master Reader, this knight is humbled after having passed that sorcerer's test. Wow, by the skills of the Underking O's, what is that you have? Jumps farther than usual? That sounds amazing. Amazing. I like that one, actually. You know what, Gilman? You can have it. It sounds better. As much as I like this. The bearer's posture by up to 5. Your quickness is important because you're slow as shit. Your presence sucks. You know what? We're gonna give you this because I feel like that's better. I like the curve fang, but it's not useful if it's not dealing +5, I feel like. When I can get it to a +5, I'll try that. Okay, what happened with the other one? We just battled no one. Actually, in this sense, we battled. Okay, let's do it, I guess. You volunteer to survey the undulating waves around the Black Wagon together with Pamitha and Jodario. Try and keep up with me then, you two. The search turns up nothing much of note, though wandering with Pamitha and Jodario proves reprieve from a long day on the road. Together you return to the wagon in somewhat better spirits. You should have time remaining with which you may pursue vocations. Okay, vocations in a second. Hold on, let me check something. Pamitha wants to talk. Let me see who wants training. I can level you up, which is great. Can't level you up, can't level you up. I can almost level you up. I can level you up, but I'm gonna bring you with me, I think, for this fight. I'm gonna level you up, that's what we're gonna do. But first we're gonna talk. You find Pamitha by herself again, though her expression is growing darker than her custom. Leave me be, would you, reader darling? I'm trying to get some good and proper moping done here. You're distracting me. Leave me be, reader, leave me be. Just leave me be, reader, just leave me be. You don't want to know what's lurking in my heart or mind. What you'll find there isn't pretty. Yet something about her thought process is different to you now. You know that, with her conditioning, she can resist your scrutiny. But now her thoughts are laid bare to you. You know what? Why not? She would see what she is thinking. Pamitha seems to be inviting you into her thoughts. You remain there in that loathsome space. What is it going to take? Shall I just go ahead and kill them all? That would be proof enough, perhaps, of my loyalties to you and to our sisters. Perhaps I ought to start with this one right in front of me. The bond between you severs as Pamitha opens her eyes and stares at you. Then, she smiles sweetly and gives a gentle laugh. You see, reader darling, my thoughts are rather cumbersome at times. But do not fear, I have them very well under control. Still, thoughts being the loathsome thing they are, I nonetheless cannot fully suppress them. She exhales and looks askance. You know by now why I'm in this mess with all of you. You could say I lacked Pamitha's sense of commitment, her zeal. She lives only to see your nation overthrown, or something worse, if she could have her way. Centuries of conflict can be quite emboldening that way, especially when one's sister's leading cause of death is Commonwealth forged steel. Wielded with the utmost of mercy, of course. Well, I had little patience for the senselessness. For the senselessness of it myself? Became a bit of a pariah, I suppose. I knew Pamitha was going to get herself and others killed someday, so when she was to fly out on this one big mission of hers, I had other arrangements made. But after she was caught, your people did not exactly uphold their end of the bargain. I knew there were risks. There were such risks, of course. And yet, a chance is still a chance. Tamitha was clipped and cast down. A mercy, they called it. I did not see it that way. And, in my growing protest of her treatment, I was soon enough to follow. She falls silent for a while. I haven't yet decided if I entirely regret my actions, but I do seek Tamitha's forgiveness, and wish that she could see my thoughts for what they are, as it seems you can. Then she might realize our nation's people have much more in common than she knows. Sometimes I wonder which of them's the stupider. She brushes past you and out of the wagon. Nice, I got her log. Conspiracy. Insurrection. She made repeated attempts to make contact with enemy combatants taken into custody. The record states she remained loyal to the Highwing remnants despite claims to contrary. 4 years in the downside thus far, it is a life sentence. Verdant is her lifestyle. She was born on the 31st of 8th moon, suggesting she was practical and easygoing. Scorpus. She was born on the 19th of 11th moon, suggesting she is driven and fixated. Okay. That's cool. Let's train our demon friend, though. Come with me, Jodario. Very well, for there is much to learn. Your knowledge of that book is vital to us all. You and Jodario go over her understanding of her aura, its connection to her presence, both physical and spiritual. The discussion proves informative. Level up! Let's go! Utter nonsense, all of this. That we have come this far. Fortune alone cannot be the cause. When landing a jump, Jodario briefly stuns nearby adversaries, making them drop the orb. For 7 seconds, after saluting her adversaries, Jodario does an additional 10 to the adversary's Pyre. Permanently gains 4 presence based on her aura. Jodario's Pyre object gains 35. We can start with 135. I want her jump to... I like that better. It seems our past experience becomes plainly visible when our auras are revealed. Hell yeah! Let's go! Straightforward, huh? Alright. Here in the immeasurable depths of Sea of Solace, you encounter a messenger named come to deliver news and rumors from the other side. The news this time pertains to Hedwyn, whom you liberated at the fall of Solium. You learn Hedwyn returned safely to the Commonwealth, where he was clothed and welcome, his past transgressions all forgiven. He was to be groomed for a leadership position of his choice, whether on the Council or the Blood Border. The northern edge of the Commonwealth is a flat and venerable expanse. The Highway remnants seized upon every opportunity from the cover of clouds of darkness, each equally as lucrative and secretive as well. However, he refused, and before the stunned councilman could do anything about it, he left. He's since made contact with Wolford's agent and is working together with them. Thus, the ranks of the revolution grow stronger. Per the messenger Ib custom, the last part of the message was transcribed from Hedwyn, word for word, and says, "Keep going. I'll see you here." You thank the messenger for relaying this information. Soon your companions are all abuzz about it. Tizo is happy to hear Hedwyn is well back in the Commonwealth. A glorious example Hedwyn sets for all of us. Yeah, that's how it's done, Hedwyn. Right behind you, chum. I always thought Hedwyn was looking for someone. Out there back home? You think he found her? He didn't. Wonder if he'll ever find the one he fell for. The news of Hedwyn's liberation fills you and your fellow exiles with newfound resolve. I have so much hope right now. We are the most hopeful. Fucking... dude. Page revealed. Ooh, let's read. Let's get some lore! The scribe's deeds. I wish to be remembered not for boastfulness. Thus, I refrain from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand this savage land. Such were the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see that all the terrors which I had heard at bedside in my youth were based entirely in fact. So great they were, they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished. that the remnants of it still shine under the stars, and in the end, it was the stars which guided us toward our truest calling. The Hulk of Oars. The Dazraban was first of many river ships to vanish in the downside. Although presumptions of its loss were not inaccurate, the doomed ship and her valiant crew had charted half the Sea of Solace ere the end of their brave voyage. Sorry about that. The sea titan, unfathomed Plurns, was not fond of vessels sullying her sea, and split the doomed ship with a single swipe. The ship's own shattered prow would later end the sea titan's cruel reign, as the boastful Underking loves to recount. The stars themselves must have been moved by this. That point within the sea, now sacred, has the stars dancing in homage every now and again. Okay. Slugmart. Oh, it's you guys again. Good. So I was just thinking I could use a customer like real bad today. Or just in general, you know? Nifty, but it's a fucking monster boost. That really only brings it to a +4. You know what? Take this from me. I don't want it. After dousing the adversary's pyre, the bearer earns a reward. Up to 3 times. I think that's fine. Whose thing do I want to boost? Quickness to 5. Presence to 5. 7. 75%. I can make him so fast. Costs 75% less stamina. 42%. 42%. 5 quickness. You know what? Fuck it, dude. That's so overpowered. Oh my god, he's OP, dude.
Poppy,
hey, leave it, Dad. Just look at how much we got this time. Commence the right. I'm gonna put him in. Tizo's gonna be in this one because he's got a powerful fucking talisman. Here among the undulating waves of the Hulk of Oars, you await the signal of the stars. There's no sign of your expected adversaries, the accusers. Then the little imp Tizo flutters up to you. Tizo cautions you that he has some history with your next adversary, Lendel. He seems to be indicating that Lendel has a personal vendetta against him. But before you can explain anything further, the stars begin to call to you. Then Tizo's gonna be in this game to win. I'm putting him in. Accusers music, let's go. It's still not as good. I'm sorry, but the Dissidents have the best theme song in the whole fucking game. I don't care what anyone says.
'Tis time again.
Hi.
You exiles of the Night Wings.
Hey, fuck you, guy.
The 8 scribes summon you to the Hulk of Oris.
Yeah, bet.
The
Oris.
adversaries you are to confront shall be
My best friends.
accusers.
Hell yeah.
Extinguish now their pyre, and glory shall be yours.
Okie-doker.
Now prepare yourselves.
Oh, this map again. I forgot about this. Your companions are assembled and ready for the rites to commence. However, there is still no sign of your adversaries, the accusers. Little imp Tizo screeches something cautioning you to stay alert. But then, someone leaps forth from the shadows. He grabs at his mask. Aha! Caught you, you miserable beast. I knew it. After all this time, I knew that you were still among their ranks. Tizo was angry to have stumbled into an apparent trap laid for him by Lendel. Silence, fiend! You robbed me of my freedom, my dignity. Your evil shall be ended here and now, and you, Nightwing, shall not deny me thus again. Come then, my accusers, for we face again none other than the spawn of the accursed imp, Haub the Swallow. Let us show him now that he is a disgrace. Tizo whistles something angrily back at him. Whatever transpired between him and Lendel is in the past, Lendel evidently has not let it go. Well, then Tizo's gonna kick your ass. They have an ashen coal?
Who shall stand together here this night?
Ooh, I got a bridal boss for Lendel. Wait, I can learn more about the accusers? Corruption. Right, 6 years? Nomad Constable Scorpus. He's a well-feared young constable with a peace, bent on always making sure his fucking guilty. Once he took into civilians for theft, the civilian was the artifact. Rank 35 Talisman. They get 35 to their power up. Regenerates stamina twice as quickly. That's unfortunate. Often when power casting, you'll transfer longer. Deals bonus damage. When Bear's Pyre has more than the adversary, bearers deal. She deals. Oh god, so we have to really lower their thing. They both have the same thing. Oh god, that's a what a combination. They have him with the Ash and Coal, giving them a bonus 35 to their Pyre, and then on top of that, all right. Who needs the level up? 2211. I'm putting you in for sure. Oh, I can put you in again, I guess. Yeah, I guess so. I'm putting in my boy
Tizo.
I love Tizo. He's my favorite. Just to have her in there. I think it's important to have her because she's pretty useful. I don't like the way that Lendo spoke to Tizo. Tizo's my friend! Nightwings, the wicked fiend you serve as an affront. He denied my rightful freedom in my moment of triumph. I should never forgive him or any of you. Bet. Stay mad, motherfucker.
Begin.
Wow!
Best laid plans do oft go awry.
Okay. Oh no, Tizo!
What transpired there?
Oh no!
That's it.
Tizo! A lot of damage I have to deal to them. Okay. Hold still, you misbegotten little punks. We're not finished with you yet. Tizo utters at Lendl a slew of the absolute worst in profanity. Hey, on stream? Tizo! Your curses cannot possibly affect me any further, you foul spawn. You have taken everything from me already. But if I'm to be turned in this forsaken hole with you for the remainder of my days, then I shall see to it that yours shall be as doleful as my own.
That Lendl certainly enjoys a rousing speech, though talk means nothing in the rights.
Oh fuck! Faye!
All three Nightwings. Poof.
Goodbye, game.
A crushing blow against your.
They deal so much more damage and it's a bigger flame than me, yo! No!
Unacceptable.
I'm gonna lose.
Good.
Ooh!
Barely.
I have to deal so much more damage still. Ooh! Oh!
Stifled effort.
No! I lose.
Your pyre weakened.
I lost. I didn't lose.
Another banishment.
Boom!
She soared right in.
65, which is not great for me.
Onward thus to greater glory.
Oh my god, I still can win.
Oh.
Boom!
Fire.
Oh my god, I might still win.
There. Remember everything thing which you hold dear.
Oh my god, I can still win!
Now, end the ceremony.
Boom!
It is done.
Oh my god, I won! Are you kidding me?
Nightwings prevail yet again.
Ow!
A narrow victory, yet nonetheless commendable.
That's like 2 health on my thing left. How did they not stop me? I'm confused. Tizo is very pleased to prevail, but wishes to make a quick exit at this time. Blast! Where did he go? Where did he go? That infernal imp! It is a monster in disguise, a fiend! Come forth and core me until the day I die! Lendo storms up in a fit of anger. Tizo reappears once the coast is clear and expresses gratitude again. What Lendo said before, if Tizo truly is a descendant of Harub the Swallow, then he has quite the legacy to live up to. How did I win?
Much to learn from this
How the fuck did I win? How the fuck did I win? I should not have won. There's no way I should have won that. Damn it, you didn't level up after that? 50 still. How did I win? Please tell me how I won. I had 2 health on my Pyre left. What the fuck? They threw. The AI threw. That's crazy that they threw their own win. They crushed me. They had 35 extra damage to take, and they still lost. That's wild. After the Nightwing secured victory over the accusers in a last-ditch effort, you return to the wagon to recover and plan your next move. The time has come to search the stars again and determine where the right shall take you next. The stars yet shine for you, revealing various paths forward. Alright, what do we got? We have... Priesta! Lou! Milith! Alright, what do we got? Nightwings are 10-0, which is insanity. The accusers are all the way fallen to the 4-4, huh? Essence is gonna be who we deal with. 5-5. 5-4-3. How are they all on 9 plays and we're on 10? Oh, because we won... I guess because we won the Liberation. Additional exile is required. We're still missing a member. When are we getting like the aspect? 33%. Nice. We're gonna go up against the Essence. So unless we can fight them early and not deal with them, because I would rather go up against the Withdrawn personally. All right, let's see. So we're here. We can fight the Pyre Hearts, the Essence, or Fates. I'm gonna fight Essence and drop them down away from us. I think that's the plan here. Take them down. Because they're easier to deal with, I feel like, than the other two. Or, I mean, no, actually they're harder to deal with. So we're to have another brush with Tamitha. Perhaps she'll spare me yet another moment of her time. She's here because of me and I'm here for her. Tamitha then tells you more of your next adversary, her own blood sister. Tamitha Thane, a harp of the High Wing Remnants, raised from birth to excel in outwitting and outmaneuvering her enemies. She seems driven by her hatred for the Commonwealth. After retreating to the mountains centuries ago, the Harps refused to join the Commonwealth, and those old tensions boiled over into raids or skirmishes or all-out war. Flight tacticians as Tamitha gave the High Wing Remnants a swift and powerful military presence to this day, despite the Harps' small numbers. She once hatched ambitious plans to overthrow the Commonwealth, breaching its defenses so her sisters could rain down a destruction. On the darkest night of the year, she led a daring infiltration mission deep into her enemies' lands. It almost worked. However, she was betrayed by someone very close to her. Someone branded a Commonwealth sympathizer. Tamitha. Tamitha was caught, clipped, and subsequently exiled as a prisoner of war, but being trapped within the downside only stoked her fury. I wound up in here not too long afterwards. Anyway, it's complicated. What happened between us, what I did for her own good, and that of all our sisters. Though I'm beginning to doubt that Tamitha will ever see it though. We'll see, I suppose. But for now, I'd best try and catch what sleep I'm able. Pleasant dreams then, darling. You bid a good night to Tamitha in turn. No time now to make flight preparations, though. Come morning, the Black Wagon will press onward. Ooh. Tizo! Hey, buddy. The Accusers. The Accusers formed under Golathanian. He's a big man. He values justice, loyalty, steadfastness. Golathanian, he says that the accusers take their name from one of his most accomplished legions from his former military days. All among them, in fact, served the Master General at one time. They represent the stoutest-hearted people of the Empire, who held true to Mur and Golathanian to the end. The golden colors of their raiments are reminiscent of their old shining armor, his claim. Ever shall they seek out those with the truest spirits and the strongest sense of purpose to replenish their ranks. Okay, hey Tizo. What's up, little buddy? Tizo has seemed somewhat less cheerful since his run-in with Lindo and the accusers. He approaches you, wanting for him to hear him out. Tizo seems unhappy about something Lendl said to him. Understands full well why Lendl is angry with him. While Tizo does not like Lendl as a person, he recognizes nonetheless that he is denied his freedom. It was a liberation right. He did what he felt necessary. He wanted to help his friend go free. Nonetheless, he still feels a certain guilt and regrets that the right forced exiles into such situations. He falls silent for a while. Whether the 8 scribes ever intended for imps such as he to participate in the rites firsthand is difficult to know for certain. Then, is grateful for you for listening. He knows the scribes created the rites with good intentions. He promises to keep doing his best to live up to the legacy of the scribes. He bounds up into the rafters with some of the other drive-ins. Regardless of whether he truly is a descendant of Haub the Swallow, surely the scribes would have been proud of him. That's it? No info on him? Okay. Yes. Fair enough. We move on. Onward! What was that? Over here, Sir Deluge in a full-on panic as his fellow war messes to calm us down. What do you mean it was the Nightwing? We are not the face of it coming right again, are we? Somebody realizes your wagon is a log beside his own. You Nightwings, this night shall not forgive you for this transgression. Once we prevail against whichever adversaries are to do to face us next, then we shall come for you. Why must this night be forced to fly us so far above the land and sea? That's funny. I like that. I like the little dialogue. Tizo spots a convenient landing spot where you should be able to pursue your vocations. Rookie believes that the faster route you should have time to pursue your vocations. Vocations either way. Faster route or convenient landing. You should be able to pursue your. You should have time to pursue your vocations. I like Tizo. Tizo is my buddy. Your wagon touches down in Black Basin where you first met Volfred and Pamitha as well. You briefly wonder at what might have happened had your paths not crossed. You consider what to do with the remains of the afternoon. I got a new page in my book. Let me read my book first. Black Basin. The continent we call Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart. Arriving upon blackened molten crags, tolerable only by the harp Trista, we pressed onward toward a suffocating wood. This land felt to us somehow primordial. Deep in its roots and noxious crevasses lay innumerable clues as to its ancient history, but we had little time to excavate, for our supplies by then were thin. Further, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation all had failed. It was Luz Glorian who reached out at last onto the stars, and they revealed the way. Then we at last could see the sacred Mount Elodial there in the distance. Okie dokie. Thanks for the knowledge. After having reached the gnarled roots of Needlefield, you volunteer to survey the grounds. You prepare to head out. However, your companions beat you to it in this case. Tizo indicates that he and Faye are going to scout the area this time. They depart, leaving you to rest up. When they later return with nothing much to report, you are feeling better and are in the midst of deciding which of your locations to pursue. Tizo wants to talk again. You observe Tizo rummaging about the black wagon as the one searches for him. He notices you there and rushes up to greet you. He's glad you are here. He was just reminiscing about old times, which is he was in his search. Tizo is looking for something a former exile of the Nightwings once gave him. He's growing frustrated that the object he seeks is nowhere to be found. You almost do not notice the lone minstrel's approach. I am afraid that it is gone, Tizo. I am very sorry. Reader, it is nothing that ought to be cause for much concern. Reader, that Tizo has misplaced something of sentimental value to him. It was just a spare bandage. It's exactly like the one on his horn. Tizo here has had many adventures with the Nightwings. Is that not so, Tizo? Sparks an approval. Those memories shall always stay with you. Is that not what matters most of all? Even from as well, then please do not worry yourself about it anymore. It is a symbol of a distant past, besides. Tizo skulks away up into the rafters. The lone minstrel watches him go. The object that he seeks does not exist, reader. Tizo searches for it from a fleeting memory of his days with the Nightwings of the past. He performed the regular duties of other drivers at first, but soon distinguished himself. I was none too surprised. He was clearly special. He had grown close with the other members of the Nightwings when misfortune fell and the Triumvirate fell apart. Perhaps Volfred has revealed to you more of the details. As for Tizo, I feel he must make peace with the shadows of his past, somehow. Perhaps then he shall cease searching. You need not worry for him, of course. He is resilient, and shall always serve the Nightwings well. You might say that he was born for it. Begging your pardon, reader. The lone minstrel excused himself in his polite way, leaving you to consider what he said. Nice. That's what I was looking for. There are a lot of imps on the downside, but few, if any, are like this one. In fact, he seems to be a descendant from the most famous of all. Tizo was older than he appears and drove the Black Wagon of the Nightwings for many years, learning much about the rights while traveling with the Triumvirate. But when misfortune fell, he disappeared. He re-emerged years later, having become an integral part of Volfred's plan and to serve as a liaison between Volfred and a certain band of exiles whom he trusts. He was born on the 13th of 5th moon, and he is steady and collected. Does that matter? Practical and easygoing. Driven and fixated. Oh, it does kind of matter, I guess. Right, hold on. Do I want to do 3,300, 3,200, 1,250, 150, 1,850, 50. I'm bringing you for this, for the thing, so you're gonna level up. I'm probably gonna bring you to level you up, and then I think I'm gonna bring you. So maybe I train you? Nah, it's not worth it. I'm gonna do the book reading. I think that's important. I like this girl. You exude yourself from the others to go pore over the Book of Rites and its mysteries. The rare understanding comes from the reader's influence. I want hope. Hope. You concentrate on the substance of the words, teachings of the Book of Rites, such as you understand them thus far. Inspiration comes to you in a flash, whether from the Book of them, so you cannot tell. Spirit. All Nightwings gain +1 hope. Permanent buffs are great. I love those. Let's go. En route to the Glade of Lu, the wagon comes to Sun Hall. That does it. I am leaving. The cause of Jodario's outbursts soon becomes apparent. Well, reader darling, at least some of us know how to take a joke, wouldn't you say? Look, she was reminiscing once again about her soldier days, and I just happened to point out, I may have suggested the fire restriction of the Spyro Sanctum happened on her former unit's watch. I mean, didn't it? Not that she would have made a difference. Had she been there herself, she ought to think the same she was spared by her exile here. Saint Trista Thesis, known as the disciple of the Blessed Scribes. I thought she held no love for your Commonwealth. I should never understand what it is your people ever saw in that dreadful place, but I guess I hit a sore spot. I should probably go apologize. She swoops off, there's no sign of either one of them. You organize a small search, it proves fruitless, but then Dodario returns alone as if nothing happened. She is back to her calm self. Let us continue, I regret the interruption. Hamatha soon comes back as well. Oh, don't you worry, darling. I've definitely patched things up between us, honest. At least, I think perhaps I didn't make things worse. She returns to her business in the wagon. You make ready to resume your travels and make a note to follow up. Absolutely follow up with them. This seems like a mistake. Glade of Lu, the Freedom Path. 1 second. Pause. I'm gonna pause the recording and come right back. 1 second. And we're back, YouTube. Welcome. Sorry about the weird cuts. Anyways. There we go. Commence to the right, we can go to the slug mart. Hey guys, look, I got something here I think which maybe you would like. Shows you several bottles of multicolored liquids. For the next right, gain 4 hope, 4 quickness, 4 presence. Sun serum, star serum, moon serum. Yeah, they just pretty good, I guess. And besides, they can give you a little lift, you know? You know what I mean? You get thirsty for them, don't even worry, I can get some more soon. Okay, but how much? I have a lot of money. I have a ton of money. You know what? I'm gonna buy these because I can afford them. What else do you have of interest? I could get an ashen coal and then level it up a bunch. Why not? Give some money. I've got a ton of money, why not? Let's see what happens. I wasn't done yet. I wasn't doing business. Guys, so, I wasn't done yet. I wanted the other thing. They're back. Get that. Fuck, I keep clicking out of my box. There we go. She's gone again. I don't know what this dog wants. It's driving me crazy. I carried her back up the stairs because this little princess didn't want to walk the rest of the way home. I give you quickness. Wow, she fast as fuck, boy! I might use them. I'm using you in the next one. Let's give you presents. Why not? That'll be fun. And then hope. Who's got low hope? Nobody that I'm gonna use. That's unfortunate. Alright, well. Okay. That's cool. She wants to talk, and we have some information in the book. Let's read the book first. The secret text. The Freedom Pact. We rid the land of an impending doom, but faced another of its kind. For we knew that we were trapped. Yet, for each danger which we faced, for every failed ambush by Arch, we met with gentle souls and kindred spirits on the downside, who deserved more than to fade from memory within this land. It was then the stars themselves showed us the way, delineating a great voyage across the sea. Near broken, we became, but then, at last, a moonlit vision, that of the rights. The rights! Thus shall all say of us, the 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may yet have ours. Downside disease. Ailments in the downside often give no warning when they strike. Those who keep moving and make no attempt to settle, they reduce their risks. The afflictions come in multiple varieties. In the bogs of flagging hands, a pallor tends to sink into the skin and then into the mind. The nauseating sea of solace north of there is difficult for some to tolerate. Very hot or very cold environs bring their own specific side effects. My coat is not as lustrous now. My fangs are long. Like all aspects of the downside, all these ailments share a purpose. Test your body and mind and spirit. They only appear to harm. Accept them, surpass them, move on. That was a bar. He's spitting bars. The Glade of Lu. Never have I witnessed an affront to nature, mine and everyone's, quite like the poisoned woods of limbless Arazek, the root titan, in his suffocating influence. I shall leave it to the boastful Underking to tell you more of Arazek's vanquishing, whilst I may tell you something of the glade that he protected, which became my own. My own genealogy now occupies the soil there. and strives forevermore to prevent Arizek from taking root again. The brambles of the glade are constantly encroaching on themselves, then falling once again to dust. This miraculous cycle, reflected in the starlight piercing through the canopy, needs to be witnessed whenever the stars invite an audience. Okay. What's up, Pamitha? You find Pamitha in the midst of a heated conversation. All I'm saying is, we're limiting not only your own chances individually, but all your friends' chances as well. So Dario seems to be considering whatever it is that Pamitha proposed. Reader, the heart here suggested that perhaps it would be best if I were to form an alliance with the ones whom I fought for the better part of my life. Just with me, Jodario. I cannot vouch for anybody else. How utterly absurd. If we were in the Commonwealth, I would not have stayed my hand against her. That I can say for certain. However, as Hedwin would say, what happened back there? Perhaps none of that matters anymore. And what matters more is what we do from there. Here. That is to say, I am willing to give it a shot. You mean you would be willing to conduct the rites with me? Yes. Excellent. I knew you would come around. Well, she'd never come around, but I ought to give her the benefit of the doubt here. I'm grateful for your open-mindedness. No need to let old enmities between our ancestors ruin things between us, or the others in our little party for that matter. After all, do not push it with me, Harp. We shall see if the reader here is thus inclined to pair us in the coming rites. I am willing to defer to them. Anyway, you see? I think I managed to make amends there. Doubtless we'll get on swimmingly in no time. So Dario and Pamitha are now willing to conduct the rites together. Hell yeah, I was gonna put them together anyways. Wait, I'm not done reading? What else is there to read? Foraged findings. Oh. There is a simple pleasure to be found in foraging about this place. Easy for a cur to say, of course. Though barren looking to the naked eye, the downside has its share of semi-hidden treasures waiting to be found. It was a nose for treasure, after all, which drew us here. Certain types of artifacts found in this place would fetch a reasonable sum in soul, whether because they shine with inner light or due to other special properties. I have observed that stardust, freshly fallen from the heavens, sometimes glimmers in the afternoons. I have not found a use for it as of yet, though although because it brings me faith, perhaps I have indeed. Nice. Commence the rites! The afternoon is just beginning to give way to nightfall as you and your companions finish making preparations for the coming rite. Through all the ceremony, you realize Pamitha is nowhere to be found. The last anybody saw of her was shortly after the Black Wagon came to the rest here at the Glade of Louvre. He returns just as you are beginning to plan a search for him. Sorry to have worried you there, reader darling. I'm getting a little antsy, so I have to go and spread my wings a bit and shake away the nerves. He is holding something back. Don't you get in my head. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, damn it. You reader, get out, get out, get out! Anyhow, it looks as if the show's about to start. I shall be in the field with the others. As Pamitha departs, you see she is right as the stars above begin to shine. You know she's about to face her sister, Tamitha, once again. You accept that it is a very private matter between them. Well, I'm putting her in the fight, because that's the point. Something else catches your notice in the sky, this time strange new stars shimmering about the ones you recognize. The greater titans have returned. Colossal monsters that once roamed the downside. The scribes together slew them one by one, and through this forged their bonds. Some of them, and merely in spirit, not in form. But those dark stars are a portentous sign. Though they may light your way, beware the path which they illuminate, reader. 1 second. Henceforth, you may invite the influence of the Titan stars, omens in the night sky, each representing one of the downside's mythical monstrosities. Use the Titan stars for a greater challenge.
Behold, the Titan stars.
To rank up faster, -30. Your adversaries each shall have +8 hope, making them return soon after banishment. Your adversaries shall be more cunning and much quicker to react. I can deal with it.
The widow.
Ooh. Let's see if I can win this with minus 30. Maybe. I feel like I can. I feel like I can do pretty well with this.
The Titan stars. Burning remnants of monstrosities felled by the scribes themselves. Dare you to stand against them in their fury?
Sure, why not? I'll give it a shot.
Dark is the knowledge that you seek there, reader.
True,
Best
but I'm
focus
down.
on your adversaries, keen as they are to confront you once again. Put out their pyre first, and show them the glory of the Night Wings.
Dude, minus 30 is gonna suck, though.
Make ready for the right.
The winged exiles of the Essence take position opposite your own companions and their leaders. Sooner starts. Tamitha, come forth, no trickery this time. She appears as asked, though remains silent as her blood sister studies her for a time. Tamitha then reaches permanence. You look weary to me, sister. Oh? Little sleep, I guess. I do get rather anxious sometimes on the night before one of these things. It'd be a lot of pressure. Understandable. Two of them say nothing for a time. You cannot discern what they are thinking. The high wing remnants all seem to be mentally acute, trained as they are from birth. Soon enough, Tamitha cuts through the tension, her tone light as ever. So, given further thought to my proposal, then, I have. And I think that now is the time for talk. Besides, your comrades there, surely you give them pause. Even now they must be questioning your loyalty. What? But Oh, cut it with the stammering, Tamitha. It is very unbecoming, you know that. And you be sure to tell those comrades of yours what you propose to me. She dons her mask once more. As she rejoins the other exiles of the Essence, Tamitha hesitates. I told her she could take my place. That I would keep her up to date about her progress. That she could take my place if ever it was my time for me to go. You don't have to worry, for one thing, she refused, and for another. Well, I better tell you later. For now, remember you can count on me. You know I will. That's awful for me.
Who shall strive for freedom?
Tamitha details. I'm interested. Flight tactician Aqui. First of second move. Trendsetter of the future. Terrorism. Hatred 7 years? After the fall of the Empire, all the tribes and nations it subsumed began to work together to rebuild. All but one. Some harps retreated to their ancestral mountain homes. Tensions grew and war erupted many times since then. It's about to put an end to it. York created an ambitious plot to overthrow a common military. But at a key point in the mission, she was betrayed by a confidence of her own sister. Boost faster by 10%. That's not too bad. Flight tactician. She's got swift flight. Okay. That's fine. I'm still gonna do what I want to do. I gave him a boost, didn't I? I think I did give him the boost, right?
Rookie. Very well.
Don't really want to get in the middle of this mess, but what the heck? You got it, chump. Face us, wasters of the Commonwealth. The pain and loss of your defeat this night shall reverberate not only in your hollow hearts, but in the homeland that abandoned you. Are you quite sure it has to be this way, then? There is no compromise here, Tamitha. Not for traitors to my country or my blood. I understand. So be it. This is gonna suck, but I'm gonna make this work.
Now begin.
Boom!
Your adversary's pyre is the first to falter.
You seem so distracted, Pamitha. Is there something more you wish to say to me? Or do you feel that I am owed, perhaps? Pamitha stops at this and reaches for her mask. I'm sorry for what I did to you, sister. What you did to me? Your apology rings as hollow as your plumage. You might rehearse it further upon every last survivor of the High Wing remnants. Now, no more talk.
Such hatred spewing constantly from Pamitha. Yet here in exile,
No!
she is not but a talk.
Fuck.
Yes.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. No, fuck you, you pushed me away. Me.
You have it.
His movement is so crazy to me. Oh no! Fuck!
Such is the
Damn it, I didn't switch characters fast enough. I'm gonna lose. My first loss. Boom!
Glory.
We're only down by 5.
The orb.
Damn you! No! I put you away! No!
The essence prevail. They prove superior to their adversaries. Perhaps your fortune shall be better next time.
Damn it. Fuck. I thought I jumped and pushed her back. God damn it. The knockback didn't kick in on her. She got too close. Fuck. You and the Nightwings may have experienced your first defeat, but this is not the end. Rather, this is an opportunity for you and your fellow exiles to press onward. Learned a valuable lesson this night. Rewarded only for this one time. So too is Jodara, not in spite of this setback with the S, but because of it. And Ruki is no exception. He has gained more insight here as well. Your fellow exiles all shall gain enlightenment and learning from what happened. And your story shall continue. The choice of whether to accept such outcomes now and all throughout your quest to be yours alone. Unimpressive, Pamitha. What good is your offer to show me favor in the liberation rite if I could just well prevail against your comrades on my own? It will be different then, though I suppose you won't reconsider. You know I cannot. You were always obstinate, but in that regard and all others which count for anything, you are inferior to me. Remember that. What you offered is meaningless to me. I shall free myself without your help or that of anyone. Now then, farewell. Wait, what of your comrades, the Essence? You must need them at least. Mincing my words as ever, Pamitha. Know that I do love you in a way. Is that what you wish to hear? But my purpose is plain, and you stand in its way. You are a fool to think my freedom is my goal. My freedom is a means towards an end the likes of which you would never abide. Do you think that you could sway me from my purpose, Pamitha? Pamitha remains silent for some time. No, I think that you will struggle to destroy the Commonwealth no matter what it takes, no matter if in doing so you are destroyed instead. Just so. So then you understand me after. Pamitha does not turn to watch her blood sister depart.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust.
Ugh. Sucks.
If only wings could speed us on.
All in all, having to unlearn everything I've learned is going somewhere faster than expected. Stamina.
Until the next.
So, not the outcome we were hoping for. Exactly. Hope is not something I dwell upon at this point, Harp. This outcome was predictable. Then you'll go back to refusing to connect the rights with me, is that it? I did not say that. Our failure this night does not fall solely on your shoulders. I was not accustomed to your presence. Room for improvement, then. Sorry for the outcome anyway. Though, maybe next time, Ugh, my win streak! My flawless win streak! Disgusting. I'm disgusted with myself. My flawless win streak. It was going so well until it wasn't. And everything failed. Bleh. Disgusting. I honestly could have won that, but god damn it, pushback. Back at the wagon after failing to prevail over the essence earlier this evening, you are about to join the others discussing the outcome when Wolfred finds you. I trust you did what you deemed necessary there, my kin, though I admit I would have liked to see a different outcome. Now I'm afraid I need a bit of time from you, for there is something you should see. Please join me outside. Look forth, the golden star reveals itself to us once more. Indeed, somewhere deep in the infinite dark, a single star shines brighter than the rest. Path to freedom reveals itself again. Wait, really? We can already go towards it? The liberation? Wait, really? So soon? Yeah, and we gotta fight the essence again! Oh no! Twice against them? It's the only one I can do too, which is the worst. Fuck! I gotta fight them. I was hoping to knock them back and deal with another group, but I guess we're going for it. Fuck. I shouldn't have put Ruki in that fight. Ruki wasn't a good choice for that one. The rites are calling you again to the fall of Solium, where one among you may go free should you prevail. It is, as we discussed, the cycle of the rites beginning to turn more quickly. Perhaps the scribes themselves have taken notice. Fortunately, having more frequent opportunities to free ourselves is not unwelcome to our plan. I suppose it's good for everyone, including the essence who will oppose us next. Getting to Mount Alodiol ought to be a little easier than before, at least. Here we be making a landing near some of the old monuments of the scribes. Let's set forth at dawn. Soon everyone is off to rest as best they are able, knowing that another chance of liberty for one of them shall soon present itself. Who am I going to set free this time? Maybe Tizo. Your sister's coming back again. Despite Pamitha's mental conditioning, you can tell something is troubling her. She won't listen to a word I say, not one damn word. If she were my blood sister, I should think I'd hate her guts as much as she hates mine. She shakes her head. I should apologize to you and everyone. I sought out Tamitha without asking your leave. Figured I would rather seek forgiveness than permission, you understand. My attempts with Tamitha didn't amount to much, as you well saw, so at this point, I'm hopeful you'll be more accepting of apologies than she. So tell me something, Peter Darling. Do you suppose I'm going to betray you? You may know better than I do at this point. I'm gonna full trust her and see what happens out of curiosity. You expressed to Pamitha you do not view her efforts to make peace with Pamitha as being contradictory to the group's larger goals. You understand why she did what she did. She says nothing for a while. It's kind of you to say, my darling. May the others see it with such generosity. But if they don't, you need but tell me to depart and I'll be on my way. However, I've promised that I wish to make a promise that I wish to make to you. You let me stay, and I'll see this through with all of you, no matter where we all end up. I'll be on the roof for a bit, I think. Take care too, darling. Despite Pamitha's disappointment with the outcome of her confrontation with her blood sister, you sense she is less troubled now through your brief conversation. Good. Nice. Let's beat them this time, because I hate my life. That minus 30 hurt me. The minus 30 definitely hurt me. But I took it in stride. Since Jodario shall gain favor from the scribes if we land, I'm gonna use her, so maybe that's useful. Nah, I'm gonna bring in Jodario to gain favor from the scribes. So I'm gonna bring her into the next fight. Make landing on the sacred Mount Alodio, upon whose summit the next liberation rite shall soon take place. You wonder who among you may regain his or her freedom this time. Wolfred finds you after his post-fight inspection. We shall have to take the rest of the trip to the fall of Solium by land. May we soon liberate another of our own there. That should raise the chances that our plan shall ultimately succeed. Seek the nomad scribes. Oh! Tamitha! We've got a favor. You call upon me for some purpose, reader. Yeah. You need not ask me twice if you refer to the one of scrutiny. You're the only one. Approved, 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 and approved. You ask Sandra to administer one of her special trials for Pamitha. Oh, you mean that feisty harp? She may yet be taught some manners, I should think. I shall attempt to bring her down to size. Let us bring her forth. Soon Pamitha arrives and into the summit. Called for me, reader darling? Ah, it's that crystal. Then let's hash it out. I'm ready. You are ready. Duh. Let's see what she puts me up against. I'm assuming flying creatures or non-flying ones that have high jumps. The apparition Sandra appears in a fastened mask. Listen well, Harp, you answer to me here. Ooh, a bossy one. Sure, then go on and tell me more. It's a delightful student for a change. Come then, let us see what you can do left to your own devices, save for your reader's vigilance, of course. Let's show her what she wants to see then, reader darling. Oh, fuck me, you three! Fuck me! 2, 1. Damn it! I triggered Winged Fury for nothing and didn't get faster. No! Too late! Hell yeah! Oh god, I dropped it! The orb! No! Fuck, he jumped over me. I didn't jump in time. Too late. Haha, that was kind of easy actually. Good jumps over me though. That's unfortunate. I couldn't dodge. There, now is everybody happy? Oh, happy as can be, my doubtless pretty Harp. So good of you to ask. On top of that, you were sufficient. You passed my test. Give my congratulations both to you and to your lovely reader. Now be gone from here before I have any second thoughts. That wasn't too bad. Easy again, easier than Tizo's. Tizo's was the hardest one. Everyone else had a relatively easy time of it, but Tizo was like getting his ass whooped. The poor little imp boy. My, that Sandra sure could use a massage or something. So angry, isn't she? Say, what's that you have there, darling? While flying after dousing the adversary's Pyre, Panther may instantly return and deals 3 damage. That's pretty cool. What is her current thing? What is she currently wielding? Oh, the Moon Crest. 30% chance to recover. You know what? Why not? This could be fun to try out for a little bit. Let's give her some hope. Nice. I want to use this. I need to upgrade it for sure. What was the new item we got? This. The magma mug. Provides a bit of warmth on cold nights and something of which is not. Ooh. Canvas wings. The black wagon is flight capable, though by which means you do not fully grasp it. You're no fucking kidding. Seek the nomad scribe's favor. Later that day, you accompany Jodario into the sheer cliffs of Emperor's Fall, where a monument to Gulathanian awaits you. Scribes, perhaps due to the nature of this place, you begin to sense Jodario's inner thoughts as compares if you were speaking aloud. You scribes, do not believe that you can hear me. So this is a joke to you. If so, do not tamper with the feelings of my comrades. I shall not forgive you if you do. Soon, you and she are finished paying your respects. You return to the wagon in silence, feeling as though Gulathanian has shown you favor. At dawn, you shall begin your ascent. For now, the solitude here is your vocations. You hope for you? Vocations, huh? Alright, before I talk to you, let me. Your respawn timer is 10 seconds. It's not that bad. What was I gonna do? Oh, wait, I was gonna check experience to see who's close to leveling up. 23, 23, 12, 50, 150, 18, 15, 19, 20. I'm gonna give it to you. Yeah. First, let's get your backstory. You find Joe Dario seemingly deep in thought. You consider whether to even bother. Your presence is not unwelcome, reader. Remain a moment, please. She stares at you for some time. Today marks the beginning of my 16th year in exile. You look back at her and remain silent. You sense that all she wants from you right now is for you to listen. I have kept count, put notches in this breastplate of mine for each passing day. Notice how much it has frayed. 16 years. The orphans whom I foster would be long since fully grown. Some of them are likely gone. Most of them spoke of how they longed to one day serve with me on the blood border. Sometimes I cannot help but wonder if I still were captain, could I have protected them? Could I have made a difference? I think not. The Commonwealth and the High Wing remnants, they have fought eternally. Those such as I have come and gone throughout the age. I catch myself feeling pity for my years. But then, had I remained there on the blood border, it is unlikely I would have lived to see this day. To you again. You know why they cast me down. I was a decorated captain. They said I was the best. Closes their eyes for a moment before she continues. One day, it was a standard patrol, but I ran across a pack of part fledglings, fully armed and preparing for a strike, all on their own. They were nothing for my regime. We ensnared them all and took them in. A considerable prize. They were not yet conditioned to be made to talk. When the order came down that they were to be executed, I could not bring myself. The Commonwealth, priding itself on mercy, committing such acts who wanted me, it was inconscionable. So I thought then, at least in my younger years, I let the damned birds go, made no claims to the contrary, and turned myself in. I was cast down the following week, 16 years ago. Thus, my enemies had the last laugh at that exchange. If I were faced with the same choice again today, I do not know for certain that I would have chosen just the same. Now then, I shall go and mark this occasion as I have always done. As I have always done. Be well, reader. He heads out of the wagon alone. The prairieist. She is one of the 23rd of 12th moons. She is ambitious but also discontented. Insubordination, insurrection. 16 years. Headwind's one of the... He was one of the kids she took care of? Whoa, that's crazy lore. Yeah. Mentor... We're mentoring you so you can get closer to leveling up. Fine then, let us chat for a spell. You ask Pamela to explain to you in her own words the histories of the 8 scribes and speak to how their varied backgrounds form the basis not just of the rights but of the Commonwealth. Okay. My sisters, we all come from the flock of Trista. Maybe we just don't remember her anymore. Alright, let's go. You sense Sir Gilman shall gain favor from the scribes on this route. Since Faye shall gain favor. I kind of like bringing Faye along for stuff. I'm still bringing Joe Dario. So there's still that. So Dario and Pamitha are coming together. On the way to the summit, you pass a monument to Luce Glorian, and Faye happens to take notice. Blessed am I to have this audience with you, O Luce Glorian. Your resplendent glory has made this moment possible and given me so many friends who are so dear to me. Thank you. Whatever happens, thank you. She says little after paying her respects. However, as you prepare to continue your ascent, you sense that loose glory has shown you favor. Two presents. Well, that's pretty good. Okay, let's go. Back to the gate we return. You and your companions gather once more at the Scribe's Gate, where a single narrow trail leads upward toward the summit, past an archway carved of stone. From this way, please. The minstrel leads you toward the archway where his counterpart awaits. The exiles of the Nightwings have returned. They have. Greetings, Celeste. He all but ignores him and motions to the rest of you. Now then, each of you in turn, please state your name and what it is that you seek whilst crossing Scribe's Gate. Please do just as he says. Everyone steps forth one another much like before. Hamitha passes through the gate. Jodario passes through the gate. Ruki passes through the gate. Faye passes through the gate. Sir Gilman passes through the gate. Tizo passes through the gate. Boldfred passes through the gate. No one is left to go but you. You step forth and declares what she did before. The guardians of the scribes regard you with a still expression, and she addresses all of you in a formal manner. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome, go forth with glory. The lone minstrel glances up at the gate guard. You have her gratitude, Celeste, but she pays him no heed. Huh, interesting. Why is that? Why is she ignoring him this time, but the first time she was like, it's good to see you again. Well, it doesn't matter. We're gonna fight against the Essence again. Again, you gain top of Mount Elodial, from which the downside sprawls before you. You wonder whether one among you shall soon follow headwind from this place. Page revealed the fall of Soli. Let's read, and then go to the market, and then do the thing. Fall of Soli. From the top of Mount Elodial, the downside may be seen in its entirety, or at least felt, since so much of the land is shrouded, but that is hardly all. Through a wondrous miracle, there lies upon this highest mountain an inverted fall, whose waters crash not towards the sea, but rush toward the heavens. We speculate these are the very waters which delivered us, but now bend backward, seeking their return, as do we all. In this phenomenon can freedom be achieved, but only for the chosen when the time is right. This is a path to freedom we cannot traverse, but shall leave open for you so that you may strive for it. Okie doker. Do I have any money? Guys, you know, it gets real awful cold up here. Sometimes waiting for customers. Come on in, okay? And good luck in that big battle thing you got. That's where you're going, isn't it? I heard it's gonna be exciting from my friend. Must be our lucky day. Oh, I don't know what, man. I forgot to go in the inventory so we shop. My bad. Plus 12 is pretty cool. 90%. His fucking dash will do nothing. He will lose nothing. 5 quickness. You know what? Yes. I need her to be fast as fuck, boy. Let's just do it. Commence the rite. Hopefully I can pick her. Time has come for your second liberation rite to commence. You observe the lone minstrel and Volfred speaking in hushed tones but cannot sense the topic of the tone. Then Volfred looks up. I trust that you are feeling as prepared as possible, my kin. Each rite is consequential to our journey in its own respect, though these liberation rites have a more immediate effect. It's somewhat crass, however. I've gone and estimated by how much each of her companions make to the outcome of our plan, so they be liberated. Factors such as their previous occupation, and a tendency to lead, and oratory skill contributed to my assessment. Nothing personal, for we are all in this together. Besides, we all ought to return in time if possible. Know simply that for each one of us who goes, in doing so, he or she shall raise our total chances of success. Reader, this night you shall confront the Essence. They have already appointed Tamitha to be liberated, that they manage to prevail. We all have faith in you, my kin, and lo, even the stars agree on this account. Holy shit! This is active by default? I don't want to turn that one on. I'm gonna turn on... Ooh, that seems dangerous. Huh? An extra 30 damage, though, isn't too bad. Yeah, fuck it.
Sangris.
Why not? Let's see how bad this goes. This is gonna be terrible, but we'll see what happens. This is the last thing I'm gonna do for this stream, and then we'll end it there. I think I'm gonna try to release Jodario if I can. She deserves to go back and see her friend. If she can be released.
The Nightwings have returned unto the fall of Solium, at which the scribes first formed their sacred union.
Yes, hi, we're back.
Stake this night is freedom and prosperity.
This is gonna suck, though, I bet.
Only for one exile who prevails in this liberation rite.
Right.
Your many adversaries all did strive to earn this opportunity.
I almost went 11-0. I'm so mad.
Which earned it. Who shall be absolved is up to all of you.
Woof. The pyres burn each of the terms as President prepared. I concur the pyres burn each of the terms. We've already read this before. Then anointed one of the essence, come forth now and declare yourself and pay any respect you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. Tamitha swoops down from somewhere and unfastens her mask. I am known as Tamitha Thane. I mean to return to my ancestral home and properly resume my responsibilities as flight tactician of the High Wing Remnants. Our long stalemate against the Commonwealth shall soon be ended should I and several of my sisters manage to rejoin our clan. Then our vengeance shall be swift and thorough. Your quarrel with the country that cast you into exiles beneath the notice of the scribes, Tamitha Thane. Here you shall be judged under the stars. My quarrel with the Commonwealth is all that gave me and my sisters strength enough to reach this point. The scribes ought well take heed of how my people suffer. We are not weaklings anymore, like your priests. We shall not fall in line with flightless fools and their naked attempts to subsume our heritage, our culture. Speak not against us of the saint, or you shall be expelled, Tamitha Thane. Tamitha scoffs, then turns her attention toward your son. And Nightwings, as for you, the fury we shall imminently show is nothing in comparison to the hatred growing for your Commonwealth in the mountains on the other side. She signals to her sisters to ready themselves. You seek your freedom, but there shall be nothing safe for devastation should you manage to return. Oh my god, they have 155? Now then, have the Nightwings reached a decision on how shall conduct the liberation? First companion whom we choose shall go free on this night when the enlightenment be important. Not all among you may be ready, the other two chosen to night with your decision. Who is worthy?
Who would you set free?
I can set free Jodario. Let's go!
Jodariel.
If that is your wish, you can go see Headwind. I know you want to.
Tamitha.
Sure, let's get her out of here then. And
Faye.
oh, I can help. I think I can help.
The choice is cast.
One final obstacle to overcome, ere I can soar again above your Commonwealth. Such destruction I shall rain upon it soon. But first, let us dance this final time. They're gonna kill me because they have 155 health. They have 155 health, my guy.
Commence.
As the liberation rite continues, you sense Tamitha reaching out to you, perhaps just reaching out to anyone at all. Reader, someone, please. Let her prevail, please let her prevail here this once. If this thought makes me a traitor, so be it, but please let Tamitha prevail, for she is here, wrapped up in all of this because of me. The bee trails off and Tamitha remains steadfast, all of her attention towards liberation right, and as for Tamitha, prepare yourselves, night wings, and as for you, Tamitha, I await the outcome of this night, for it shall soon ensure that I may never have to see your smirking countenance again. I can't let her win. All right. Oh my God! I dropped it. No! Fuck! My sister. Damn what the book says. Advance the strike formation. Prevail here against these wretches no matter the cost. Just look up at the ways to the right. Tamitha Thane has ordered Convert to push further afield, adopting an even more aggressive stance of this right. Okay. That's fine. Fuck you, bitch. Well, no! Oh, fuck. That's fine.
Ouch.
By Vey.
And there it is, at last. The Night Wings proved their worth. An
New alliance,
which left little room for doubt.
All right, we're 11-1. I wish we were 12-0, but that's okay. Sorry,
Thus
Tamitha.
ends the liberation rite, and thus the scribes have chosen. The exile appointed by the Night Wings shall be free.
Go meet up with Headwind, Jodario.
Misdeeds.
You deserve it.
Return to glory.
I'll miss you, but you deserve it.
Her adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
16 years is too long. You need to move on. You need to go. Save you for this, Tamitha. All of this because of you. After all this time, she turns her gaze toward the rest of you. I never thought this day would come. I have all of you to thank for this, for doing this for me. The life that I recall back in the Commonwealth was at times difficult, but I am much older now. I know not what I shall find on my return. However, I know this. If that place is still like the Commonwealth I left so long ago, then I shall strive to make it better, for as long as I retain my strength and breath. You see her smile faintly as she disappears into the shimmer pool, but you can still hear her voice, though faintly now. Farewell then, reader, all of you. Now, may she return in glory.
Godspeed, Captain Jodariel. The 8 scribes are ever merciful, by
This
their
game is
grace,
fucking cool, dude.
the cycle of the rites may soon commence again.
Wow, didn't level up from that after all that? You must have. Not really? I give me on 3%, I guess. That's fair.
Until the rites begin.
Well,
anew.
Pamitha, truly did you get the best of me again. Know that your actions put our sisters on the other side in even greater peril. Not that you care, of course. Yet I am certain that they shall someday prevail with or without my aid. To think that I was born to share blood of so much as you. Ooh, bad blood. These girls need to relax. Also, is my screen broken? Or is it just dirty? Oh, no, it's just dirty. I should get like I gotta get some wipe. Sorry, Pamitha. I had to do it. You returned to the wagon after having prevailed against the essence of the liberation. Oh my god! That's one less mouth to feed. Do you think Jodariel is already home? Succeeded in liberating Jodariel. She was a grim, long-time resident of the downside garden. Looking up in glory. We did what we could. With each liberation rite, we strive to advance our plan. 43%! That didn't go up by much when I sent out Jodariel. That sucks. A brighter future awaits at the end of our path. Now we must persevere. I guess Tizo's going next then. Speaking of which, reader, I think you have seen the stars, or should I say, the lack thereof. You have or did, once more the skies all abyssal darkness. Following the liberation rite, no stars illuminate themselves to guide you further on your path. And let us go once more to Moonlight Alcove. Air and I must run besides once we arrive. Let's recover now and make our way southward at first light. I'm gonna read these pages, and then I think we'll leave it there for this. The greater Titans. The stars shine strange beneath the sea. This one dared rise from the waters so that he could see them plain, the burning essences of those who came before. Our lives are but a quest to join the stars. This one longed to be the brightest, but in the downside, this one met those whose own stars shall doubtless burn at least as hot. Together we achieved great deeds. You may have seen some evidence of it, the remains of the greater Titan, which once darkened this dark land. But in our kinship was the strength to conquer them. It is this one's humble charge to chronicle those deeds, and may the Titan stars never stain the sky during your time. The Essence. The winged members of the Essence, each chosen by the matriarch Trista Thethys, are living exemplars of liberty and piety. Would that my wings could be thus. Once you, of course, must know, we all had wings. It is said the people of the Empire relinquished theirs, drawn in by earthly matters as they were. But the harps, such as Trista, held tight the liberty their plumage could afford. These divergent paths did cause a share of differences between the winged and the wingless over time. But here, in this land, our purposes are shared, our goals united. That, then, is the Essence. That is who they are, and what, and why. Oh, I've missed out on some information, I think. Oh no, I've read this one. I've read this one. I read this one. I've read this. What am I missing? On mercy. Mercy is the beating heart of a truly free society. Mercy even for the perpetrators of the darkest deeds. As our liege solely emerged, drifted in an ocean of regret, he found their mercy, or rather, it found him and it saved his life. Mercy, freedom, they are intertwined. A society which raises a clenched fist against its own shall follow the doomed path of the Emperor of Sar. Ours shall be a merciful society. May the perpetrators of the darkest deeds be sent to join us here, where they may learn as we have. Mercy shall engender union. Mercy shall engender union among all our different kind. We shall stand shoulder to shoulder, equals in the same society. Wait, I read the Fall of Solium, right? Yes, so I gotta read this then. The Book of Rites. Much can be said about the Sisters of the Arch, whom we banished to the great beyond for deeds irredeemable. Suffice it that the details of their banishment are written in this book. The sisters in the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars, their light and their infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us and you. Did I read this already? What am I missing? Ah, this one. Got it. I knew I was missing something. There we go. This Sun Grease. Know you the sacred Mount Alodial, the highest peak within the lowest land? Then know it is no mere mountain, but the fractured bonework of the world titan himself, the archbeast Sun Grease. This one's bog-dwelling companion, Millith, is too mild in her account of our ascent. It was not a pleasant mountain hike, but a pitched battle spanning 17 full moons. Finally, the 8 of us, we climbed atop the brow of old Sun Grease. We merged our strength and struck the mortal blow, such that the archbeast shattered finally to pieces. 'Tis no mere myth that from the archbeast's eyes the shimmer pool emerged, the sole means of freedom from this land. Okay. And save. Alright. That is where I'm going to end it, YouTube. Hope you're enjoying. I think this is part 3. And I will see you for part 4. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that stuff you're supposed to do on YouTube that they constantly tell you to remind your viewers. And I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed. This game is fucking awesome. But anyways, bye for now. Peace out.